Andy Allen versus Underwater Expeditions. Pretrial matter.
Yes, Your Honor. Before we proceed, I'd like to make appearances. I'm Josh Wilson, and along with my co-counsels, Bondy K. and Troy Peterson, we will be representing the plaintiff, Andy Allen.
Okay.
And permission to approach and tender to the bench copies of the second amended complaint, the defendant's answer to that complaint, the stipulations, order on motions in limine, and the relevant statutes, case law, and rules of evidence.
Have you seen these?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you have any objection?
No, Your Honor.
All right, may approach. Anything else?
Yes, Your Honor. I'd also like to request your preferences as to whether we have permission to freely move about the well and whether you'd like us to ask permission before approaching the bench on the witness.
Move up the well for examination, for openings and closings, for examinations. Stay back there by the row of council table. And for approaching, I need to ask the first time, come to the bench and the witness after that for free to approach per examination. In this instance, we would direct and redirect that's considered do one in terms of asking for permission.
With that, the plaintiff is ready to proceed.
Anything from
Yes, Your Honor. At this time, we'd just like to make appearances. On behalf of Neptune Underwater Expeditions, I am Erica Waltman and Sonny Hansen.
And given mentions a corporation, a company, do you have a party representative?
Not present today, Your Honor.
All right. Anything else?
No, Your Honor. At this time, we're ready to proceed.
All right. Go to opening statements. The plaintiff,
Yes, Your Honor. May I proceed? Say one thing, do another. If your car breaks down, you go to a mechanic who knows how to fix your car. If you need a surgery, you go to a doctor who will perform your surgery with care. And if you want to go on a scuba diving expedition, you want to go to a company that will do everything they can to keep you out of harm's way. That's what the plaintiff, Mr. Andy Allen, trusted of the defendant. That they would do what they said they would do and keep him and his wife safe. Your Honor, the evidence will show today that that simply did not happen. On behalf of Andy Allen, we represent the plaintiff. July 7, 2011 was a blustery day. Andy Allen is standing nervously on the deck of the live-aboard ship, the Man of the People. He's nervous because his wife is about to go on a dive without him for the first time ever. He's nervous because the dive company has paired his wife with the dive master, an individual who is responsible for the safety of the whole group, not just one person. Regardless of these concerns, he watches as his wife disappears beneath the dark rolling waves. He has no idea he will never see his wife again. You will hear from one of the divers on that expedition to a sunken ship known as the Hepburn. Frankie Fernandez will come before you today and explain what she saw as they descended beneath the waves. She will explain that not long after the divers submerged, something went terribly, terribly wrong. The currents began to sweep up, and the visibility was blotted out to just 10 feet from here to Your Honor's bench. It was evident that a storm had hit, and the divers were not immune to the powerful tumult. Frankie Fernandez, even an experienced diver like Frankie Fernandez, was caught up in her gear and needed the help from the dive master. The dive master, Reggie Rogers, then abandoned Lee 170 feet below the ocean in the darkness. Back on the surface, Andy Allen's nervousness has turned to terror. The storm is rocking the ship, and all of the people on deck have to go beneath seeks shelter. Slowly, pairs of divers begin to return, until all but two come back to the surface. Reggie Rogers and Lee Allen. Minutes passed like hours. The storm continued to batter the ship, and finally, a lone diver emerged. It was Reggie Rogers. Meaning that Lee Allen was still alone, 170 feet below the ocean, left to die by the defendant. You will hear from an expert in water sports medicine, River Tran. Dr. Tran will explain that Reggie Rogers, though he said he had a small amount of time to return to the surface, and in that small amount of time couldn't have saved Lee Allen, what really happened was something completely different. Say one thing, do another. Shortly after Rogers returned, the Coast Guard was called. The Coast Guard investigated all the circumstances on July 7th and interviewed all the personnel on the Maine of the People ship. You will also hear from the Coast Guard investigator, Special Agent Gary Connor. Special Agent Connor will explain that he was very suspicious when he heard identical statements from both the CEO of Neptune Underwater Expeditions and the dive master, Reggie Rogers. Both said they had no idea that Lee Allen was a weaker diver. The evidence will show today that simply wasn't the case. Finally, we will show you two documents that prove Neptune said one thing and did another time and time again. The first is a brochure that includes all of the guidelines and policies to go on this separate expedition. The second is considered to be the gold standard of scuba diving guidelines and policies. The evidence will show today that Neptune broke rules and policies in both of these documents. Neptune said one thing and did another, time and time again, and the result was the tragic death of Lee Allen. We as the plaintiff have a burden to prove to you, through a preponderance of the evidence, which means more likely than not, that the Neptune Underwater Expedition acted recklessly. At the end of this trial, my co-counsel, Tori Peterson, is going to come before you and ask that you find Neptune liable for the reckless death of Lee Allen.